are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
It is that time of the year, guys. The NFL regular season is around the corner. Preseason is already in full effect. And that means the Futures podcast is here. I'll be doing a little different this year. Instead of cramming it all in one, we'll be doing an AFC edition, NFC edition, spread it out through a few weeks. So this video and podcast is going to be just AFC North. It's probably going to be the longest one, just a little, preview of the season, little breakdown. And then, of course, I can talk the most about the AFC North because it's my division with the Baltimore Ravens. We'll probably combine a few other divisions in the other podcasts coming up. I love watching preseason. Like a lot of people don't tune into preseason. I like to watch the backups and see who's going to be the deep teams coming, up into this year. Now, a lot of teams obviously don't play their starters. Some do for like a quarter, maybe even just a drive. But I like to see the rookies. I like to see who's going to make the team, who's going to have that deep running back core, that deep defensive core, that good backup quarterback. Because it does matter in the futures market, right? Futures market, I always like to stress to you guys, a lot of it is health related. Right? Obviously, you got to make that big selection. You got to find the market efficiencies from sportsbook to sportsbook. Find the best number out there. However, you do got to get lucky with health, right? A couple bad injuries to a team. If you bet the over, not looking good. Obviously, you bet the under. Joe Burrow goes down. It's like your odds improved a ton, right? So there are luck involved in future markets. That's why I usually suggest not to have big unit sizes in the futures market, just because it's an all season long bet. Now, sometimes you can say, I can read an all season bet, future bet more clear instead of just one game, because anything could happen in one game. And I agree with that, especially on season win totals. I hit season win totals at a very high percentage over the years in the NFL. Again, something could go wrong, right? If you're betting the over, for example, Cincinnati Bengals this year, 9.5, which we'll talk about here, wins, and you take the over, Joe Burrow goes down week 8, you're going to lose that bet. So, yes, at the end of the day, it is betting, even though I treat it as an investment. At the end of the day, it's betting. So, there is some luck involved, bad luck involved. Let's just be honest, right, guys? Okay, let's give a quick preview of what we're going to be doing here. So like I said, AFC North, I'm going to go over strength of schedule. I'm going to go over lines, market lines, give some free future bets as well. Client bets will be available at the end of August. Systemsportscapping.com or link.me/systemcapping. For client opportunities, everything's over there, right? Resume, records, client comments, videos, more information about the system. Everything is over there. Future best bets will be out, like I mentioned, end of August to clients. 75% I'm hitting at on best bets over the years, guys. I don't throw best bets out a ton. For the futures market, I'll have one or two for the upcoming season. And then throughout the year, I'll have a handful. But again, it's one single game. At times, a best bet is not really a best bet in a one single game. Sometimes I find some good value on lines or money lines. So this is something worth mentioning here, guys. My best bets are real best bets. Some people throw best bets every day or best bets every week. I don't really think they are best bets. When you say you have a best bet, make sure it's your best bet. 75% over, 6 years now, guys, for best bets. Very high win percentage. All these can be tracked on my podcast. I update weekly, so listen every week. Follow me on Twitter, X. I post them there as well. And on my website, I update it each week and be transparent. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I appreciate a ton. A lot of my listeners are over there these days. If you're still on YouTube watching the video podcast, what's up, everybody? Thanks for continuing to watch over here on YouTube. If you want to just listen, you're on the road or whatnot, head over to Spotify or Apple. If you can like the video, that'd be great. If you can review it on Apple and Spotify, that would be great as well. It takes about 10 seconds, guys. That'd be much appreciated. I'll be back in the Circa contest this year with one of my clients. I'll be going down actually to Vegas. I'll be going to San Diego for almost a week before the NFL season just to kind of get away, enjoy myself. Looking forward to that. I'll be in the Survivor Circa contest and probably the Spreads contest as well. Even though I don't love the spread contest, how it's set up, because you're forced to bet 5 spreads each week. It's tough at times, but I enjoy it. Survivor didn't have a great year last year in the Survivor market. Year before I did pretty well. I think I went to week 12 or 13, if I recall. I expect a big year this year in the Circa contest. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's get into the AFC divisions, starting with my favorite AFC North. Like I said, probably the division I know best, let's be honest. It's what I've been watching for 20 years, the AFC North. So I know this division really well. Obviously, I know the Baltimore Ravens like the back of my hand. I've been a fan for them for about 20 years now, if you guys are new to listening to the podcast. Market lines, keep in mind that I'm going to be mentioning here. The market lines are FanDuel. Okay, FanDuel are the market lines. Shop around. They do vary from book to book. So shop around, try to get the best number out there if you don't think the FanDuel number is the best. Okay, divisional odds here. Ravens minus 155. They're the favorite. No surprise there, right? Followed by the Bengals at plus 260. Steelers plus 490. And then the Browns, the lonely Browns, plus 3,500, guys. Okay, we got Ravens win total on the year, 11.5, laying a little juice. Win total on the Bengals, 9.5. Win total on the Steelers, 8.5, laying some juice. And the Browns, plus 3,500, like I mentioned, to win this division. 0 chance they win the division. 0 chance they make the playoffs. But their win total is 4.5, guys. Wow. Super Bowl odds for these. Ravens, plus 700. They're the favorites, guys. They're the favorites to win the Super Bowl right now. Tied with, I believe, the Bills, maybe the Eagles. Bengals, Super Bowl, plus 2,200, guys. Steelers, plus 4,000. And then the Browns, plus 40,000. No chance they win the Super Bowl. I would be shocked if they were like even around for like a wild card spot. I'd be totally shocked. They're definitely in a rebuild stage right now. Let's get right into it. Cleveland. Let's start with Cleveland, the worst team in this division, one of the worst teams in the NFL. Strength of schedule, second hardest, guys. That's why you're seeing that 4.5 total. I thought it would have been a little higher. Second hardest schedule in the NFL this year. Right? The lonely Browns, the failed franchise, Cleveland Browns. Now, I like what they did in the draft. Actually, mainly in the QB situation, I actually like them getting the 2 QBs. Let them battle it out. Who's better? The Gabriel, Sanders, I love this, right? They're both top 5 quarterbacks in the draft, and you got 2 of them, right? Then you got Flacco, the legend. You know my boy Flacco. I love Flacco. Won me a Super Bowl, right? I like the draft from. Then you got Pickett in there too. Kenny Pickett battling it out. So there's a battle there for the QB spot. Hey, Sanders looks good. You guys see Sanders in his first preseason game? Look good. 5th round was a steal, in my opinion. A lot of people were shocked how that played out. Some people had him going in the 1st round. He went in the 5th. Obviously, the drama, the baggage that comes with him. That's why teams didn't want to draft him. I get it. So he fell to them. Let's see if it pays off, right? Because he's been looking good. He's looking good in camp for the most part. He did get injured, though. He did get injured in camp, and he is day-to-day right now. Keep that in mind. But this team, guys, now, we're going to look at it. Like, obviously, number 1 wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy, he can't be a number 1 wide receiver on your team. Number 2 guy, great. Obviously, he didn't pan out much in Denver. Started looking good in Cleveland. He's a number 2 guy. So Cleveland does not have a number 1 wide receiver going into the season. They don't have a number 1 running back. Jerome Ford is not a number 1 running back. They lost Chubb, obviously. He's Chubb obviously was a workhorse. He just couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't stay on the field. And it's unfortunate because he was one of the best running backs in the NFL. But the injuries just kept piling up. So no legit number 1 running back, no legit number 1 wide receiver. Tight end Njoku, I don't mind him. He just can't stay on the field either. But, Flacco and Njoku, they're a pair. They played well together. Try to give him the ball. Big tight end. Throw him the ball. He'll catch the ball more than not, right? The weapons are just very limited in Cleveland, right? Their D is, I guess, their strong part of the team, but it wasn't that strong last year, right? 25 a game they averaged. Put them around 27th in the NFL. Just under 26, 25.8, if you want to get specific there. They did add Jerome Baker on D, linebacker. They did re-sign Devin Bush. I like that. I like those additions there. And they did get some cornerback depth. How much better are they going to be? Not much, to be honest. But the D is always their strength of their team. Again, it's not a big strength. It's not a top 5 defense or anything like that. But the offense have struggled over the years. And I expected to struggle with these new QBs, older Flacco. You expect this team to really struggle, and that's why you're seeing that 4.5. Right? The only reason I'll be watching this team at times, obviously, to see how Sanders plays out. Is he the real deal? Right? He broke records, guys, for preseason views. When he started, most views in a preseason, I don't know, I think it was ever. Could be wrong on that, but he brings eyes, guys. He's very intriguing. And then obviously I got to watch some Joe Flacco, right? Joe Flacco's my boy over the years, guys. He won me a Super Bowl, remember. So I tune in to Flacco as well. Browns dead last in the division, of course. My prediction. Win total 4.5. That's tricky, actually. That's very tricky because I would say over, but then that strength of schedule, guys. Second hardest scares me, right? So you could easily see 3-4 wins, but then I wouldn't be surprised if Sanders is playing really well, if Jerome Ford breaks out, that they win 5 games, 6 at the max. So 6 max this team could win, in my opinion. And then the lowest would be probably 3, something around those lines. So I think they're going to be in between that 3 and 6. I'll be staying away from a client bet on this at 4.5. But hey, for fun, let's do over 4.5 podcast purposes. I think they could get to 5, guys. I think they can get to 5. A lot of things will have to go right. Yeah, I won't be betting this personally. But yeah. Good luck, Cleveland fans. Good luck. I think you guys are used to it over the years. Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers, 8th toughest strength of schedule, guys, coming into the season. Very busy offseason. We all know that, right? Adding Aaron Rodgers. Even though I believe he doesn't have a ton left, he brings baggage as well. It does improve the QB room, let's be honest, right? It's a slight upgrade, in my opinion, from last year. Wilson and company. You just don't know really what you're going to get from Aaron Rodgers. He didn't look that good with the Jets when he was playing. Obviously, the Jets had their own issues as well over there. But, how is he really going to look? What does he have left? Will there be issues in that locker room with him? They did bring in some weapons. Obviously, DJ Metcalf's a big upgrade. How much of an upgrade is it over Pickens? It's an upgrade, for sure. But remember, they lost Pickens and they brought in Metcalf. It's not like they kept Pickens and brought in Metcalf. That would have been nicer, right? They brought in Juno Smith as well, tight end, that will help Fryermuth is obviously still there. Maybe some 2 tight end sets you'll see out there. It's okay. It's a solid enough offense, but I'm not thrilled about it. I'm also not thrilled about their running back situation, guys. And their O-line has a ton of questions as well, right? Running back Jaylen Warren, is he a 3-down guy? Right, he was behind Harris always. He likes to catch out of the backfield as well. More of a 3rd-down back, in my opinion. Khalib Johnson, they did draft him in the 3rd round. I expect him to get some run. How is he going to play out? I'm not too sure. They brought in Gainwell as well from Philly, 3rd-down back. We've seen him flash at times. So running back's a weakness for me. They don't have a clear-cut number 1 running back, a legit, proven number 1 running back. And then their O-line struggled a ton last year, right? And with Aaron, you need a good O-line. You want a good running game to open up the pass game. I don't think they have any of that, right? They struggled to run the ball last year, 28th in league yards per carry. I don't see how they improve their running back core. Unless the rookie takes off, it's possible, right? Khalib Johnson, it's possible. I'll leave some room for their unknowns. Maybe Jaylen Warren, this is a big chance to step up, possibly. Just on paper right now, what I've seen so far, there's no upgrade here, right? Questions at O-line as well. D grade last year from PFF. They struggled with the pass blocking, allowing a 38% rate, which was 29th in the NFL, guys. And they didn't do a ton in the offseason to help Rodgers. A couple depth guys, but no one to just jump in and start and be a big flashy name. To me, it's just another 500 Steelers team. Maybe a game over. Would I be shocked if they, go like 2 or 3 games under 500? A little bit. Their D's good, right? Their D will win them games alone. Watt's back. Right? They brought in Jalen Ramsey. Now, I don't think there was too much of, they brought in Jalen Ramsey, but lost Fitzpatrick. Keep that in mind. So, obviously they're different positions, but Fitzpatrick obviously at the back, safety, calling the shots back there. Jalen Ramsey obviously gets the cornerback room better, but they lost safety. Fitzpatrick, how are they going to replace him? Well, we'll see. So it's interesting. It's interesting to, some, obviously Pittsburgh fans, but, there's some people are high on Pittsburgh this year. I'm not yet. I'm not sold. There's a lot of question marks, right? Do they have enough on offense? How is Aaron Rodgers going to look? There's just a lot of question marks. Now, the 8.5 is intriguing. I actually would bet the over. I think they can get to 9 wins at least. Again, things are going to have to go perfectly, but I think their defense is good enough. They don't have the hardest schedule in the world, even though it's not the easiest. So keep that in mind here, right? So if you can get an 8.5 at a low juice percentage, I would play the over. Again, hopefully Aaron Rodgers, I'm not saying it looks like his self from 5, 6, 7 years ago. Just be serviceable. And then you got to hope that running game finds something. Someone else steps up. There are some concerns here, but for podcast purposes, it's going to be over 8.5 wins for Pittsburgh. I think they'll be battling for a wild card spot and just behind the Bengals in the AFC North. Let's talk the Bengals. Bengals, strength of schedule, mid-table, guys, 14th, 15th. So not a hard schedule, but in the middle. One of the best offenses in the league. We all know that. Yet the worst defense. One of the worst defense, right? No balance on this team. It's just, let's see if we can score 30 plus and keep them under 30. That's their team. That's their team. They decide to give Chase the big contract. Of course, you have to. Best wide receiver in the NFL, arguably. And then the surprise was bringing Higgins back. You wanted Higgins back, but would it make sense? They brought him back. So they spent all their money on 2 wide receivers, and now they can't sign Trey Hendrickson, probably their most important player. Right? I don't get it, guys. I don't get the team. Not sold on their running back room. Chase Brown. Flashed at times. Good fantasy guy, catched out of the backfield as well, but is he a 3-down back, power back? He gets hurt often too. I don't see it. I'm not sold on their running back room. Obviously, we love their weapons. Arguably the best 2 wide receiver core in the NFL. Obviously, Joe Burrow, top 3, top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Should have a big year if he stays healthy. But I'm not sold on the running back and not sold on the O-line as well. That O-line is not good. D-grade O-line last year. Burrow does get out the ball quickly, so he doesn't get sacked a whole ton because he releases the ball pretty quickly. But the blitz was the main issue for them last year. 25th in sack rate allowed last year. No big moves in the offseason on the O-line. They did draft 2 guys, I do got to mention. 2nd and 3rd round on the O-line. So, do they pan out? Anyone knows. Are they going to be amazing the first year? I don't think so. They're not going to come in and just be great in year 1, in my opinion. Could be wrong. But they did address it in the draft, but didn't go out and make any splashes. Why? Because they signed 2 wide receivers. That's why. Let's talk about this defense, though, right? Very poor. 25.5 points allowed last year. Didn't address the D at all. Also, let's not forget Trey Henderson still isn't signed, guys. He might not even be playing for the Bengals. Big downgrade to this defense. It's already terrible. It's already a bottom 3, bottom 5 defense in the NFL. Could even be the worst in the NFL. And then you don't bring back Trey Henderson? Come on. You got to sign him. But they signed 2 wide receivers already, right? So 17.5 sacks. He led the NFL, guys. How don't you bring this guy back? I'm confused with the Bengals. They didn't prioritize their team, right? They need to. Sure, it's going to be fun on offense. Yeah, we're flashy. We want to watch the Bengals offense play. And then we want to see their defense get torched every week. So they're going to have to win games, like I said, 31-29, 35-31. That's going to be their games. Bet their overs every game. Over. That's all I can suggest for you guys. Bet the Bengals games all over. I don't care what it is. 55. They're going over. Now, I do got to mention, they did bring in Stewart, edge rusher, to get to the QB. They had issues signing him too. They just signed him like a week ago. So I don't really understand their front office, what their priorities are over there. If they don't bring Trey Henderson back, big downgrade to this team. Big downgrade. Tough line here, 9.5. I lean the over because I do believe they can get to 10 wins. However, they got to sign Trey back. If they don't sign him back, I actually would play. I could see just 9 wins from this team. He's that good. He's a half or a game good. They're going to have so much time, other teams to throw without him there. Captain 2 there on the D. He has to come back. So I do expect this team anywhere from low end would be 8 wins. But that's more, things go wrong with the team. Trey doesn't come back, maybe an injury. So low end would be 8 wins. Max could be like up to 11, guys. If their D steps up, a couple guys step up on the D, and then their offense just plays above expectations, they could win games, like I said, 31-29, 35-31. Keep that in mind, right? So Bengals could be as low as 8 up to 11 wins. I could see from them. So I would have to lean the over 9.5 here, but watch for Trey, see if they re-sign him. Save the best for last, right? The best for last. And I'm not just saying that. I'm never biased with the Ravens. I'm just being honest with you guys. You tell me if you agree, maybe in the comments. Baltimore Ravens, 11th toughest schedule. So no big concern there. Super Bowl favorites, guys. Like I mentioned at the top of the podcast. AFC North faves. And the best team on paper. On paper. I got to stress that. Most of you know, I'm a big Ravens fan over 20 years. Not being biased. I'm never biased with them. I do just know this team like the back of my hand. On paper is key. Yes, best team. I think you guys will all agree with that. Most balanced team from offense to defense. Both offense and defense should be in the top 5, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if they're both in the top 3 or top 1, right? That's how good it is. Maybe the best secondary on paper I have ever seen, guys. They signed Jair Alexander, one of the best corners in the NFL this offseason. They already had Marlon Humphrey, who had a big year last year, came back. He had some injuries a few years ago, was healthy last year, looked good. One of the best. Nate Wiggins shined in his rookie season. I expect him to make that next step forward. Remember, he was their first-round draft pick just a few years ago. Very deep. They brought in... who else did they bring in? They brought Awuzie from Cincinnati, Dallas. Experienced corner for depth. I like him. Arguably the best safety in the league with Kyle Hamilton. And their first-round pick was Starks. So this is going to be one of the best secondaries on paper. And tell me a better one. Tell me in the comments if you remember a better one on paper right now. We're going to wait for the season, of course, to play out. But right now, it's looking as good as ever. Their pass rush continues to get better. Mike Green, big problem. He's a first-round pick. They got him in the second round due to character concerns. Very active in preseason and camp, guys. He looks really good. Can really cause havoc back there. Odafe Owe took a big step forward last year with double-digit sacks. I expect another big year from him. Kyle Van Noy never gets old. Guys like Isaac and Ajabo, I expect to be much better this season as well. Linebacker core could be their weakest part on defense, and it's more the second linebacker. Let's be honest here. Roquan Smith, one of the best linebackers in the NFL. Second linebacker up for grabs, though. Trent Simpson struggled at times last year. They brought in Teddy Buchanan early in the draft. They brought in Jake Hummel, playing well actually in camp. Jay Higgins, another unsigned guy. The second spot's up for grabs. It should be Trent Simpson's. Roquan Smith has been training with Trent Simpson in the offseason. I expect him to be a little better, but he had concerns last year. He had some concerns. So that's the one weakness, I believe, on the defense is their second linebacker. And hey, if that's your only weakness, you got to be happy. The offense, we know it's lights out, right? I don't really have to go over, but I will. Lamar Jackson, best quarterback in the NFL. Best running game, in my opinion, from a depth standpoint. Obviously, Derrick Henry, big year last year. Hill and Mitchell complement him perfectly. Very good running backs. Best tight end duel in the NFL. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. Don't sleep on Kohler. They have a third tight end that's really good as well. He should get some decent run. Best fullback in the league in Ricard. Now, wide receiver, yeah, it's not the best, of course, but it doesn't need to be when you have Lamar Jackson, when you have a run game like that. Now, I think they're wide receiver. I think they have a true number 1 and 2. Now, you might not say they might have a proven number 1, but Flowers is their number 1. I think he is on his way to being a true, legit number 1 if you don't think he is already. Bateman broke out last year, one of the best route runners in the NFL, very fast as well. And then I like what they did with Hopkins for depth. They do have a couple other depth guys as well on wide receiver, but I like them adding DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think he's totally done. I think he'll have, 5-6 touchdowns on the year, have a decent yardage, and he'll make big catches, in my opinion. So I like the ad there. He's a veteran guy. He can obviously help the younger guys in the locker room, help Flowers out, maybe legitimize number 1 status at wide receiver. Solid O-line as well, ranked number 2 by PFL last year. One guard is up for grabs, I believe, in camp. Grades last year from PFF and top 5. They're top 5 in most stats on the O-line from PFF. Stanley's back at left tackle. Rosengarten worked out at right tackle last year, and I expect for him to be even better this year, right? He was good last year. I expect him to be back again this year. Overall, I'm on the Ravens in the future market, all over them, over 10.5 wins. I expect them to be as high as 13 or 14. 14 is the max, in my opinion. I expect them to be between 11 and 13. Their low would be 11, in my opinion. Their low would be 11. But I can see them getting, 13, 14 range if obviously everything plays out. Remember, guys, all these future bets factor in injuries. But yes, I'm high on the Ravens. I believe I'm going to have a Super Bowl ticket on them as well. A few other future stuff around from the player prop market that will be sent out to clients later this month. Remember, guys, future bets factor in injuries. That's why I always suggest smaller units with these future bets, because you never know what will happen with the injuries throughout the year. We will see you next week for AFC East, West. I'll probably put in all 3 next week, maybe just 2. We will see how that goes. But like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. We will see you next week. Take care.